Yeah, for sure.
So let's
Hashtag,
learn.
I was going to say hashtag blessed, right?
Yep.
So for those of you who might be listening to this call via replay, welcome to our first ever Quantum Infinity Fitness Focus call. Of course, my name's Casey Conrad, and hosting the call for us today is Dr. Ariel Policano. So thank you, Dr. Policano, for your willingness to give your time. And I realize that at this early stage, with so few people participating, it is an investment, but I do believe it is an investment that will pay off down the road as we continue to develop this. Even as a small group, then I think we'll have a lot more information and experience to go out and start telling other club operators about it.
Casey, I think that you're a great innovator and a great visionary, and you've come up with something that can be really exciting as far as an application for the Quantum Infinity for the fitness industry and for the trainers that are going to be listening to this either live or on the replay. So I'm really happy and excited to be here.
Good, good. So, Tasso, I know that you have, quite a bit of experience via me through the Quantum Infinity, specifically as it relates to the Young Living panels. And our call today to start off this fitness focus really wasn't going to get into the Young Living panels because, quite frankly, that work's already been done, and that's pretty easy to run somebody on it. What we wanted to do today was, first of all, poll and find out what types of things people that are in the fitness industry with a Quantum Infinity want to know and learn. And then second of all, Tasso, similar to the chiropractic panels, our goal today was to actually brainstorm and have Dr. Policano help us create a custom panel specifically for, I felt, new exercisers coming in that we can use to help identify what is going to be the best possible, if you will, prescription of exercise for that individual with both the guidance of the Quantum Infinity and, of course, the personal training practitioner. So that was kind of our thought process for today, but certainly this is a group effort. So Tasso, did you have any particular expectations or outcomes that you wanted to get from this call? And of course, anybody else who joins us, I'm not the one watching the join. So,
Yeah, and Casey, Tammy's just joined us. So welcome, Tammy. Thanks for joining us.
Great, great.
Is Tammy still on mute?
Yeah. Yes, she is. There is an issue with sort of unmuting her at this time. She may need a code or something, but she's definitely on.
Okay.
Okay, great. Great. So, Toss, I'm going to go back and ask that question of you. Was there anything in particular that you, as a club owner, operator, personal trainer extraordinaire, that you were thinking about as it relates to the Quantum Infinity at this juncture?
Well, first of all, being fairly transparent about this, Katie, is that I've not completed my training completely, so I don't feel as competent maybe as some of the other people who are utilizing it. But that being said, I see the value of it from the standpoint of evaluating a person coming in and saying, look, we don't just have a paper cutter or a cookie cutter system to put you into, but this device measuring your energy levels of your system says that these are the things that are most important for us to do to you. Now, what I've been using it from in my limited education process to it at this point is I've been using it for my personal training clients when they come in to run their very quick profile and then balance them during and after their workout. And it seems like what that has done is lessen the number of quote-unquote bad workouts, because dealing with a bit of an aged population in my practice, they have dramatically different days sometimes based on their energy. But we seem to be able to keep a more consistent thing. So I really see a huge application for that as a benefit for when they come in and when the right time is to do that. So that my first one is using it for them as an ancillary income developer for balancing them, say, after a workout, to send them out for the day and help aid their recovery. Because we're willing to give them recovery drinks, but this is another aspect of that. And I certainly see the application of taking people, doing their evaluation when they come into a program, saying, our balance needs to be that you're going to train 3 days a week, and 2 days need to be cardiovascular, 1 day needs to be burst training, and then you strength train one of your days that you come into the session.
Yep.
I could see that as a huge benefit to what we do, because it really does give that word personalized a new meaning.
Yep. So, Tasso, let's talk through that here for a minute. First of all, tell me exactly
I will run their risks, I will run their body systems, and if I see something that shows up, say if their spinal alignment showed up as one of their top 3, I will run that as well. And then what I'll do is I will take the one that is more out of balance, so fascio or
sacred geometry. Yep.
Sacred geometry, and the one that is more out of balance, I will go into the balance panel, and I will put their top 2 and low 2, and then run it on that 32-minute cycle where it cycles back every minute.
Oh, you're using the MEP check then.
Right.
Dude, you're a good student. He took everything that I trained and told him about, and you totally ran with it. I'm super impressed, Tasso. That's a great way to use it, and I'm really excited that you're having such a good response from your clients.
Now, Tasso, are you doing that before, like you're running it for 32 minutes, but you don't have a client in front of you for 32 minutes before a workout? Tell me.
No. I run the scan when they walk in the door. I work them out, and then I let them sit in the reclining chair, chair, and do that. And if they're on a tight schedule, I'll just run them while they're working out.
That's great.
Okay.
That's so
Okay,
great.
good. Yeah, so that's fantastic. So good. Now, Tammy, I don't know if you are unmuted yet.
Here, I can unmute Tammy. And Tammy, again, welcome. Glad to have you on here. Let's see if we can get some sound from you. Okay, you're unmuted if you want to talk and be here with us.
Hey, I just got on, so I just cut the tail end of that.
So what we're talking about, Tammy, is this call is a twofold, really threefold call. Number one, just kind of checking in with people and asking them, what is it that they want to accomplish from these monthly calls? We've never all been together before. Number two, like we just heard from Tasso, let's share the what people are doing presently to use the Quantum Infinity in a fitness application, because I know Dr. Policano's Healers Roundtable calls, I get the most extraordinary ideas, and everybody thinks of different ways to use this, and that's the beauty of it, is there is no right or wrong on using the Quantum. And then number three, we were going to talk about how do you create a custom panel for a brand new exerciser to try and identify what is the best course of action for them based on a combination of the personal trainer's expertise balanced with, no pun intended, what the Quantum Infinity might be telling them, and we were going to kind of walk through that. I personally believe that learning how to customize a panel and not limit your brain to the possibilities is where the major juice comes from this thing, and I'll give an example a little bit later on when we get into that process. But let's hear from you. I know you're relatively new to the Quantum as a user. You've certainly experienced it with my visits, but how are you using it now, and what are some of the biggest things that you would like to know about as it relates to getting the most out of your Quantum with your clients and your business?
Well, first I'll be honest, because I haven't done the training part. I think I was on a temporary package, so I was running it until my clients had expired, and so I got to get with Dr. Policano to figure out how to fix that and data, because I guess the trial period I couldn't cross-reference a lot, but the first thing it did pop up and said there could be disturbance in the thyroid, the nose, the lips, like all the places that he's having problems. So I thought that was cool to see, and I'm excited to be able to further use that and know what I'm doing with it.
Great, great.
Because people are
okay,
calling me
so,
asking if I can do their scans, but I'm not, ready. So now I'm
okay,
in
fair enough.
a mode to.
And Tammy, I can
I'm
help
going
you with
to
that
switch
today.
over to a headset. As you guys might be able to tell, we are under a major.
Okay, great. Thanks.
Yeah, you can give me a call, and I'd be happy to walk you through that process. I want to make sure you have continuous access. Sorry for all the rough spots in the switching to a headset and stuff like that. But I did want to say, Casey, as you're getting that adjusted, something interesting that Ryan told me the other day is that out of all of the use of the Quantum Infinity, he's able to track that through analytics. And out of all of the use, he's actually tracked 50% of the use of the entire program is on customized panels. And I thought that was just amazing.
Yeah, it doesn't surprise me.
Yeah.
Especially for people that start to really play with it. So let me just back up a little bit here, guys and gals, and say, here was one of my visions, and I'm going to give you two examples of how I foresee us really using the Quantum Infinity as a way to drive our fitness business. And of course, you all know that for me, the back end of the back end is Young Living, but that's the easy part because I've already customized all those panels, so that's not, that's not a difficult one. But here's example number one.
Did we lose her?
Can
Are
you
we
hear
there?
me? Yeah, can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
Okay, all right,
Okay,
sorry.
wait a second. Is it, Casey, I think your connection might be dropping out. I was so afraid it was mine. I think your connection might be dropping out from time to time because I'm losing sound for you, and I automatically assumed it was my connection, but it might be yours.
Well, is it clear now? Because I changed from no headset to headset,
But
and then I was trying to.
It was a couple
Is
of
it-
times. It was a couple of
Yeah.
times earlier in the call as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, well,
Yeah.
first of all, we're under construction here, so
Okay.
that's probably part of it, and that's why I
Okay.
put the headset in. Second of all, I was just trying to clip this little clip onto my shirt, and I hit the mute button, so that is user error. So we'll monitor it here. As we say, as John Allen said, PEBCAC, problem exists between keyboard and chair. So I will leave the button alone and see if we can make sure we're clear now. So two examples of how I see this working in the fitness industry. Example number one. Brand new client comes in. This person is a new exerciser, so we're going to start with there. And yes, we can go to an advanced person, but right now, I think brand new client comes in. We as fitness professionals try to figure out what is the best possible protocol for that person. Is it 3 days of cardio? Is it 5 days of cardio? Is it 1 day of cardio? Should their heart rate be between 120 and 130? Sure, we know that there's a calculation that we can follow, but we also know that those calculations are gross generalizations. Should they be doing selectorized equipment, or are they better off using free weights, or are they better off in a group training situation, or are they better off with a semi-private? So there's so many variables, and wouldn't it be cool if we could use the device as a way to figure out what is going to be a good starting point in terms of exercise protocol for this person? The second piece, and I just want to throw the example out there so we get both examples out there first, is let's say we have a client that's been a client for a very long time, and now this person has just undergone shoulder surgery. And now we have to figure out what is going to be the best post-physical therapy inside the gym. And so, do we create a panel that says, should we be using cables or spry bands? Should we be using selectorized? Should we be using, this particular motion or this particular motion? Would it help them to do this stretch or that stretch? And so this is where you start pulling the string, as I always say, and you get into endless possibilities. But I think that kind of sets the stage for, how can we use this with that new training client? And I'm just going to assume they're a new exerciser. That's how most people come in, at least to the club business, as a brand new client. But how do we use this? And so that's kind of my vision for some of these customized panels. And I don't know if either of you have any initial thoughts about that, or had you had any kind of brainstorms about that. And if not, then let's get into doing a little bit of analysis so that Dr. Policano can show us how do you go about creating a customized panel. So start with, go ahead, Erin.
Yeah, that's what I thought as well. And I thought, let's just dive in and create, like, just to get their juices flowing, like one of your ideas about what would be the best, say, exercise for their shoulder or something like that. Create a customized panel, and that would sort of spark off other ideas. I think for Tasso and Tammy would be like, oh, wait a second, we could probably do this, we could probably do that, and we can show it. The best thing for you guys to do is sort of, Tammy, you won't be able to do this, so I'll help you when we're working together. But Tasso, you can follow along in real time and even create this customized panel mock-up as we're doing it, or even create your own. So you might want to just have your iPad in front of you if it's handy.
I'm pulling it out right now.
Awesome.
Before this to dovetail, because I didn't when you asked me about what I was doing with the other thing I had was, remember, Casey, and I think Dr. Policano, you and I talked about it a bit, is that in developing programs, for instance, when we talked about developing a cellulite program and calling it like hot hips and sizzling thighs,
right.
We would then have the protocols in place for what would work best out of the different, and where we got to, Dr. Policano, before I sort of dropped out and became the delinquent child, was that finding all the components that would be involved in that program, from diet to this, to this, to that, and then having them in there as it is in the protocols, that when you go through the assessments in the back panel, where it says, like, anxiety assessment, anxiety treatments, anxiety supplements, kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. That's good.
And I assume that's what we're talking about from that standpoint, right?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Yeah.
So, Tasso, one of the things that you and I talked about, and of course we haven't done it yet because both of us are running around crazy, but I have another client that wants to get started with it this coming next week, is you and I both wanted to do the cellulite program in January. Well, maybe we do it in February. So why don't we create a customized panel based on exercise, diet, lifestyle, and young living for cellulite?
Yeah.
Now, we might not, as a group, know enough about cellulite in order to accomplish a complete panel at this stage of the game, but we certainly could get started. So let's talk firstly. So, Dr. Policano, when you're creating customized panels like this, do you believe that the best course of action is always to take, first of all, the causes and then the solutions? Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. And I was going to say, maybe we just, because I'm already getting excited to go into the whole process here, should I just basically walk people through the basic process of creating a customized panel, and then we can get right into that backside and then start working up all of the, ideas around cellulite. So just so you guys know, if you have never done this before, the way to get and access and create these customized panels is to go down to the bottom left and just sort of touch on this little whirligig right here, and it will take you to this really cool screen. It says customize. Do you want to add new items? You'll say okay.
Okay, one step back from that, though, Dr. Policano.
Sure, yeah.
I'm at client records on the main screen going into a client. Do I have to have a client loaded for this, or is there a way to do it?
No, that's a good question. You really could just have any client here. Like I have my AAA, which I want to talk about the AAA piece, but I didn't want to get ahead of myself. So you could just have any client on here. The key, will be when we get inside. So any client, your dog, your cat, anybody.
Right. I did get as far as putting the AAA in.
Okay, yeah, and that's good, but and I want to get back to that, but right now it'll sort of confuse people. So you go into that whirligig and you get to, do you want to create new items? You hit OK, and you're going to come to probably a list with your clients, including your own name. And let's just assume for the moment, but I'll go back and re-explain that I'm just going to put everything under my own name. Now, just for the moment, because I will re-explain this. I know Casey has been really good about getting people on the AAA. Now, the reason that AAA exists is because it appears right at the top. And so what you simply do is, don't mind this address. This is for actually for testing a house. So I'm not going to, I would have to delete that at the front. That's just that's for testing a house, which we could talk about some other time. So you see the AAA is when you use this, you can actually go in right at the top and access your panels. Because my name starts with A, I've just always historically kept it right up here. And so if you want to, I'm going to go all the way back to the beginning. You guys who are listening now, if you want to create this, you'd basically just put in 3 A's as a first name, 3 A's as the last name, make up a random date of birth, it does not matter, and go ahead and just put in anything for identifying characteristics. I just put in wellness. Those 4 pieces of information will allow you, once you get to that customized area, to have the AAA at the top of your screen. And that is just for organizing. For example, Tammy, otherwise all of your client panels are going to be way down at the T because your first name starts with T. So that's
and it is a royal pain in the butt because I'm C, and I didn't initially do. I've done it with all the people that I've trained on this, but I have all my panels under my name, and I'm constantly deleting files so that I don't have to scroll to get into those customized panels. So it is something that those of you that are new, you want to be doing that.
Yeah, and the other thing is, if you did put the panels under your name or under the AAA, don't ever delete the AAA or your name. If you delete either one of those clients, all of your panels will be deleted, and you'll be spending the rest of the afternoon crying, as I did one time when I deleted about 100 customized panels that I had created. So, yeah, so you get to the screen, you can see, everybody who's watching this can see that I've created probably, well over 500 customized panels at this point in all different forms. So Casey is quite right when she says the way that you think about a customized panel is you think about the different pieces that you want to ultimately assess, and then you might have a solutions panel. So with Cellulite, we'd want to create something that's going to show all of the different pieces of why someone might end up with cellulite, like, for example, oxidation, poor diet, poor exercise, excess fat, some of the obvious ones, and then we can get into the nuances.
Toxicity, age.
Yeah. So we can get into all of that, and we create the sort of all of the permutations of the problem so that we can find out why they have the problem. And the other thing that's really exceptional about doing that is not only do we understand more about why they have the problem, but they see in black and white now why they have the problem. And it's like a third party. You're not saying it to them anymore. The machine is saying it to them. And Westerners are just gaga often for machines. They look at this and they're like, oh, I have this because I'm toxic, and it registers with them. So it can be a very powerful tool in motivating them to change. Casey, did you have more you wanted to say about the process of doing this?
No, our goal obviously is to try and get as many of the elements of each loaded under the assessment, and then on the solution side, this is where obviously either our products, our Young Living, or for those of you that might be using some Isogenics products, would come in, as well as our exercise protocols, even things like infrared sauna, steam sauna, there can be any number of things, liver cleanse, lymphatic brushing. So this is what we want to do, is try and come up with as complete of a list as possible.
That's fantastic. So let's just jump right in, and let's just, when you actually are creating a category, what you do is you actually name the category, and you create that name by hitting the plus sign, which is at the top right of your iPad. So I'm going to hit this plus sign right here, and I'm going to name the category, which I'm then going to add some subgroups to. These are the permutations or the individual things you want to assess or test. And so I'm going to put in cellulite. So assessment, do you think, Casey?
Yep, absolutely.
And we just hit OK. It's going to go to the alphabetical place that we've created it, and there are letters on the right side of your iPad, so you can skip to the letter that you want to focus on. So we go right to here to cellulite assessment. You'll be able to watch this on the replay, and I also have individual videos that I can send to you, and some of you have them in your training video package about the mechanics of creating this customized category. So this is not by any means the last time you'll see this. I'm then going to tap towards the eye here so I can go to, this is always the sign for going to a deeper layer or going to a sub layer. And so I'm going to tap that, and then I'm going to go to a blank page. It looks like a blank notebook page. And now I'm able to name all of the different causes of cellulite. So let's just go ahead and toss some of them out there and get some ideas going. And let me just start with the one that Tasso had named. And you guys can also put this in the chat box as well. Let's just put general toxicity. It's a bit of an overarching piece, and we can get more specific about what type of toxicity. But let's just go with that for the moment. Despite what some of the training videos may say, you only need to put in this 0001 at the very first box, and you'll then hit the word OK. You'll now have something that you can test in this category. We want to add a few more things, and then I'll demonstrate how to actually do the testing.
Okay, hold on, Dr. Politano.
Mm-hmm.
When I typed in toxicity, my import thing says HZ1. Is that why I tap and I edit that?
When you type in toxicity, you're going to see that HZ1, and what you do is you just overwrite that box by putting in 3 zeros and a 1, and that's the only box you need to complete. And then whatever the name of the particular thing that the item or thing that you're testing goes above. So you only need to overwrite that one box where it says, yes, it says HZ1, so you just overwrite it with the 3 zeros and the 1.
Okay, and then we hit OK.
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
All right, got it. All right.
Okay, so how about I mean, we could stay very, very general, like poor diet, but I would personally have broken it down into more things like excess processed foods. Or,
yeah, for sure. You can go as general or as specific as you want.
Yep.
And also, you guys, you can become very nuanced with how you state things. So the more specific, the Quantum Infinity is very accepting of all of your words. So you can make it a longer statement. You could put sugar. You could also put excess sugar. You could put excess intake of sugar. So the Quantum Infinity is very, very accepting of a complex language. It's quite amazing in that way. So yes, we can be as general or specific as we want to, and you will develop your own talent and way of doing this suitable to your own personality and how you work with your clients.
Yep.
And I think maybe do we maybe even put in fast food?
Yeah, that's processed foods I had.
You really want to put that in, put that in their face. Fat McDonald's eaten within the last 24 hours. Okay, so how do you guys want to? Do you really want to like fast food intake or something like that? Do you want to put that up there?
I think you can put processed, excess processed food or too much processed food or just processed foods. I think that, you can get to the place where then you drill down with the client. Okay, it says that you're eating too many processed foods. Let's take a look at your diet. Let's journal for the week and da 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 da.
Yeah, course, for sure.
Then they change their diet the minute they need to journal, but that's okay.
Okay. Other ideas, things that you want to put in there?
Yeah, sure.
Hydration level.
And so one thing you could put here is dehydration.
Dehydration, yeah.
To show them that they're not, And what about lymphatic?
Lymphatic stagnation.
And should we also couple that with another sort of descriptor of what causes lymphatic stagnation, which would be just lack of movement?
Well, I had lack of exercise.
Okay. Get in there and make them feel very like they're not working their program. So these are good. These are really, really good. And we'll do a test of this in a moment just to see how you interpret the numbers and how you do the testing.
How about skin? Like, would skin dryness and that come into that? Poor circulation?
Yeah, poor circulation is one of the primary things, micro capillary circulation, which results in the tissues becoming lack of collagen in the tissues, which ends up causing the fibers to open up. And of course, men and women, I don't know if people understand this, but men and women have very different muscle fibers as it relates to their body. Men have much more of a crisscrossed meshing, where women's is less specifically for birthing of children, so that they can actually expand and contract more easily. So this is why women typically show more cellulite more readily than men.
So does that crisscross collagen, if women had more crisscross collagen, if they could magically get injections, would they have less cellulite?
They would have less of the appearance of cellulite. It's the appearance of cellulite that is problematic for most women.
Well, of course.
Most women, even me, as thin as I am, when I sit down, you can see, like, if I'm just wearing, a bathing suit or something, it's like I'm skinny. I have like a 14.5% body fat, but I show some cellulite on my butt because of just circulation in that area.
Well,
so
but I'm just wondering about those. I mean, what are those collagen fibers called? Are they just called crisscross, or is it
collagen fiber? Well, yeah,
For
I'd have to look.
Look it up. What
yeah.
you could actually do is you could run that frequency of whatever the advantage that men have. You could actually run it in your balancing session for women in order to create more of whatever that is, if it's possible for them to develop that.
Yep. Tasso, I'll look that up in my Synergy manual. I still have everything from my training out at in Salt Lake City when we had the Synergy cellulite machine.
Okay. And then are we going to put age stress in there? Do we want to put
just
in there?
aging?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, age stress is pretty good because it really tells the story that people who, for example, if they're not taking care of themselves, you guys all know this, they're definitely aging faster. Oh, we lost Tasso for a moment, but they're aging a lot. So age stress shows them it's not related to their biological age. It's related to what they're doing and what their habits are. So age stress is a pretty good way to state that.
How about poor digestion?
That's good. The thing is that the people who are testing this will just have to be able to connect the dots on that. For you and I, poor digestion is going to result in toxicity. That toxicity is going to end up showing on their skin. So that's the connection of poor digestion. So that's the only thing, is that people would need to know how to make that connection between the two things.
Let's add two more. Let's do slow metabolism.
Okay.
And genetics.
Or change of hormones.
Didn't we put hormonal change? Hormonal imbalance. I think we got that, okay. Tammy. But yeah, big time.
And you can also, Tammy, you can even fine tune it by saying recent hormonal changes or hormonal changes related to age, things like that, to even sort of fine tune it and get in there. What you're really allowing yourself to laser in on what their particular personal issue is, which makes you really a rock star to them because you're able to individualize it so much.
Right.
Okay, and we had lost Tasso, but Tasso, I can get you back now, so let me just unmute you. Welcome back, Tasso. Glad to have you here.
Hello?
Yeah, you're here.
Yep, you're back.
You're here. Yeah.
All right, what did I miss?
Nothing.
Poor digestion.
Yeah, I think we did poor digestion. We were just connecting. We were saying like people with poor digestion tend to have leaky gut. They tend to get a lot of toxins. I would say liver, the function of the liver as well is connected to generally hair, skin, and nails.
Hmm.
I also think about people eating rancid oils because of that cause of the oxidation, which of course goes back to oxidation and processed foods. But a lot of people don't realize that things even like olive oil or flax oil, where if those oils aren't pretty fresh, then they may be consuming, not to mention canola or safflower, these oils which can saturate very, very quickly. And that also may be contributing to the development of cellulite.
Yeah, I put intake of bad fats, but
Yeah.
And how about just protein biosynthesis, weak protein biosynthesis? Because when you mention nails and hair not growing and stuff like that, that usually is an indicator of like they bruise easily and stuff like that. That's an indicator of poor protein biosynthesis.
And what's the root? That's a really good one. Well, what's the root cause of that? What is underlying that? Why are they not synthesizing their proteins well?
Well, it could be everything from stress to poor digestion to not getting a good quality protein, or getting too complex of a protein, like getting, only eating beef and their system can't digest it.
So, Tasso, you could then include some of those things on here, or you could actually have a protein biosynthesis assessment panel. And that's why it's really fun to brainstorm together, because then from there, if that came up high for them, you could then drill down in a separate panel. I mean, that's a big issue for people who want to lose weight and build lean muscle. And if you can sort of drill down why, for heaven's sake, they're not taking in those proteins and building up muscle, that's a really good thing to be able to relay to them.
yep.
So we could do that as another panel to look at. Let me just stop for a moment and show you how to utilize this panel once it's created. We can definitely add more, or you can even be adding more to your own panel right now. I'm going to hit the back button at the top left, and I'm going to then, in this location, and you may only have one panel, I'm going to now highlight this. And then I'm going to hit the back button again. It's going to go to that AAA if you've put everything in the AAA, or to my name because it's at the top. I'm going to hit it again. It's going to take me to a location where I can scan. I'm going to hit the scan button, and then I want to talk to you about the numbers and what the numbers mean. They sometimes can be a cause of confusion, so I want to quickly explain them, and also explain them based on my research, what I have found, which Quantum Life doesn't even really teach this piece. I know Casey does, and that is the low numbers. That the numbers that are 150 or below are extremely significant, and they're going to be telling you what the most significant piece of information, where they're having the most difficulty. So now I just go right to the very lowest number under 150, and I know that actually poor digestion is sort of the root cause, or the linchpin that a lot of their cellulite is around. And so that allows me to sort of hone right in and talk to them about their digestion. And then from there, from the low numbers, I actually go up to the numbers in the 700s. This is sort of the second tier of importance in terms of what is going on with them, because there are a lot of things here. And actually, we do see 138 here for weak protein biosynthesis. That was a really great call on Tasso's part. We sort of lost him again for some reason, but that weak protein biosynthesis, that's really interesting. And you probably would find out from testing this several times over your client base, then you will discover that weak protein biosynthesis might be the issue for 20 of the clients that you're working with. And so you come to a new conclusion, which is, oh my God, weak protein biosynthesis, that's one of the key elements of the development of cellulite in most people. So it's like a testing, like a lab, that you get to see over and over in order to come to new conclusions about your client base. So it can be very, very exciting and very useful. Casey, do you want to add anything to that?
No, I mean and this is the beauty of it. This is what I love about this is that and I use this expression all the time, it's the pulling of that thread on the sweater, that now all of a sudden where we're thinking we're going to run a cellulite program and we're going to focus primarily on exercise and say the Young Living products, what we really need to do is incorporate digestive practices into the program and have before and after testing specifically related to certain components of their digestion so that we can quantify the results they're getting from, say, a 6-week program. So this is where when you start to work with programs and create them, you can actually have, as you have mentioned, discoveries that will lead to something bigger and better.
Absolutely. And where I was going with that from those low numbers, I just want to say again, I would go back up to the high numbers. So now in those 700s, I go to the 700s is like a second tier discovery in terms of level of importance. And you can see that the rancid oils and excess sugar intake are sort of the next in line for issues that are causing this person's cellulite. And then the last thing I look at is anything in the 600s. And I don't actually see anything, although age stress is a little bit close. So I sort of take that in and sort of look at it and consider it as well. The thing that Casey just mentioned that's really great is then as they're going through the program, so when they come in next week, it only takes you seconds to do any test. So when they come in next week, you now do this test again, and you can see what has actually shifted or changed for them. If the excess sugar intake and the rancid oils has not changed or moved the needle at all, then you can also come to the conclusion like, wow, they're just not being compliant. And at least that's something that you know, and that you can maybe give them more, coaching or find out if there's an emotional root cause there or sort of they don't have enough resources or what the issue is.
Yep.
So from there, what we then do is once they know what the cause is, what will we do typically as the solution, whether it be exercise, specific movement, skin brushing, rebounding, or certain supplements, nutrition, Young Living oils, they could apply things like that. So then we typically go to a solutions panel. Casey, anything in addition there?
No, I mean, that's, for now, I mean, I've now sat here and listed probably 20 or so, and what I'll do is I'll end up putting together or working with you where we can actually complete these panels for our, Young Living fitness people, and or I'll do it and upload it, and I was just kind of working on some of the solutions there as well.
Yeah, that's great. I mean, do you want to name some of them now? I mean, we have a few minutes left in the call, so.
Of course, increased circulation, improved circulation. Now that's general, but as you and I have been talking about, something like the Beamer, there you go. Now you can add another potential modality to your practice, whereas, of course, we're going to get increased circulation from strength training.
What's the correct way? Would it be the Beamer unit or BEMER? What's the model so we could be specific about it?
Yeah, I would just say BEMER, MAT, M-A-T.
BEMAR, BEMER? I'm sorry.
ER, yeah, BEMER, yep. Yeah. And that's, of course, that's the micro circulation, right?
Sure.
But then we've got strength training. That's going to help increase, muscle fibers. Then you have cardiovascular activity.
And I think the important thing is just, we know what cardiovascular activity is, and probably you're all are really good at this, is in terms of just really defining what that looks like in terms of time that you do it per day, and also frequency, how frequently you do it, and exactly what you do. You guys are probably all experts at that.
And that's where you
Tasso, you're back.
I mean, you'd actually create another panel that said, cardiovascular activity is the subject matter or the heading, and it might be 5 days a week, 3 days a week, 2 days a week, and then you could have 30-minute sessions, 20-minute sessions, HIIT sessions. So there's lots of things. Again, it's of kind of but if it came up as cardiovascular activity necessary, you could then drill it down. How about Ningxia Red?
That's a good one. This is from Tasso.
Yep.
And Tasso, you're back with us. You're unmuted, so welcome back. And sorry you're having trouble on and off there.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
We can hear you.
Okay.
Can you type to me the Ningxia spelling just so I get it right, Casey?
Sure. It's, just so you know, it's Ninxia.
Oh,
No, I'm sorry, Ningxia, and then capital RED.
Ningxia.
Xia. Yep, Ningxia, space, capital Red. Yeah, that's fine. It doesn't matter. Yep,
Okay.
RED.
Okay.
Yep. We could say clove oil, right? The highest antioxidant.
Are we in solutions now? Cellulite solution?
Yeah, that's exactly it. That's exactly it.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Tasso. Go for it.
Okay. I'm just trying to look what you got here. I'm trying to get back into it.
You could use the Cell, CELL-LIT Magic, Cell Light Magic oil.
That's a Young Living?
It's a Young Living massage product that you can actually use, and I've had a lot of people with great luck adding that.
That's cool.
Plus using some capsules of different essential oils prior to going to bed.
What was it again? Cell, L-Y-T-E?
Cell-LITE. Yeah.
Now, we can't use
Cell,
dashes or
L.
punctuation.
Okay, so just go space, light, magic.
You want to put a YL in front of that, Casey?
No, it knows it. It's intuitive, Toss.
Okay. All right. How about descending calorie diet?
What is it
There
called?
you go. Descending, like descend.
Like going starting out at 1,400 calories and going down 100 calories every week till you get down to 1,100, something like that.
Just to change the metabolism.
Where's the ascending calorie diet? I don't want that one.
That's why you get the ASS is from the ascending calories.
How about lymphatic brushing?
I did put skim brushing. Do you want to specify
Oh, you did.
more?
Okay. Yep. No, that's fine. Nope, that's fine.
How about lymphatic? Just that windmill lymphatic movement. Have you seen that? Where you just start every morning and you tap, you rotate.
The qigong, Ariel. Yep.
Oh, it's called windmill lymphatic movement?
Yeah.
Oh, I'll have to look that up. That's cool.
You start in the morning and you basically swing your body to stimulate your lymphatic system.
Oh, that's
It's
great.
a qigong.
Tap at the base of your back.
Oh, that's cool.
How about localized tissue massage?
And if you guys, anybody else want to write or chat or tell any ideas that you guys have, it's great.
Because I lost you there for a while, Errol, will you be able to send this to me and then I can just import it into my system?
Well, I was hoping everybody would just work on their own just so that, because the importing and exporting, it just becomes really cumbersome. But Tasso and anybody else who's on here, if you really were not able to get it down, for sure Tammy couldn't because she didn't have access, no worries, just email me and I'll export it.
Now, when I go through the recording, I can go back and just put this stuff in.
Yeah. We'll figure something out for sure.
Citrus fresh oil. Citrus fresh blend or citrus fresh oil blend. Either of those.
To that end, good news, Casey, is Ryan's working on a way that all of your panels can be maintained within a space like a cloud that people log into. Yeah, so because we're just so cumbersome for people who've not been able to back up their iPad and lose these panels. So it's good to know that people will be able to restore it themselves. Citrus fresh oil, is that what it's called?
Yep.
Okay.
It's a blend.
Yeah, I think that that's great. And do you want to, you could also indicate, well, you guys will know whether they should take it orally or do anything like application
Yes.
versus
Yep.
oral.
Yep. Yep.
You guys can make that call too. And Alka has joined us and she says sleek caps and sleek essence oil.
Yep.
And do we get as detailed as saying like stair climb, climbing stairs?
Yes.
Okay.
And that really was Casey's sort of genius about, thinking about the customized panels, is even just drilling down the very specific exercises because you actually don't even know, even though you're very, very smart and all of your fitness training tells you probably what the right protocol is. It's even a good check system for yourself. And you may be surprised you thought something would be really good for your client, but then when you test, it's like, wow, actually this exercise or this strength training or whatever it is would actually be better for them. So it could be a really fun discovery process for you too.
Yep.
Because what made me think about that is when we did our hot hips program, we had a protocol that you started out on. Remember the cross aerobics, Casey, which was just a fancy reclining stepper from Stairmaster. We start with 6 minutes on that. We do abductor, adductor, leg press. We do 2 upper body exercises. We come back and do the lower body leg curl, leg extension, leg press again.
Yep.
So I don't know if we put in like in my case, I might put that protocol in as their strength training protocol.
Sure. Yeah, and that's where you have sub panels, because I think you want to try to keep these as categories because you can end up with this monster sub panel. And so as it relates to for strength training or cardiovascular training or even the burst training, if burst training came up as necessary, putting burst training 6-minute intervals here is doing it a disservice at this level, because it might be 2-minute intervals, it might be 1-minute intervals. So you could actually create a sub panel burst training and have it be all of the sub possibilities so that you can find out exactly what that person needs.
Okay. And then we don't have super hydration on there, trying to get them to take in like 128 ounces of water a day, of purified water.
Yep. So you could put improved circulation or increase hydration, and then again you would then test it, Tasso,
Right.
to see. You could go into the cross, not the cross analysis. What's the one with the 4 pie pieces, Dr.
You
Policano?
could use biocompatibility. You could have
Biocompatibility.
You could have a hydration subpanel too, where you could actually put some other things on there like electrolytes or cellular toxicity blocking, hydration, some of those things, or even the water itself, if it doesn't have a high enough surface tension, it won't really hydrate them. And also you can use this here. You wouldn't put it on this panel, you'd put on a separate panel, but you could actually put the amount of fluid ounces per day and try different, which is the right amount of fluid ounces for them. And I just want to show an example of this. I want to just help you to interpret these numbers, but I will just go from here. Hydration, 64 fluid ounces versus 128. And I'll show you how to read the numbers so you can actually...
because we're all running out of time, Doc, so why don't you go ahead and run that panel after this entry.
Yeah, for sure.
Let
me just get this.
And then eliminating carbonation would probably be another thing we put in.
Yeah, well, the possibilities are endless, and I know we want to definitely get to summary on this. We're going to be doing more calls like this. This is all Casey's idea to really help you to use the Quantum Infinity to build your business, to build your practice, to make a big difference. And you're using this technology. First of all, you're one of the few people in the world to be using this technology, but you're using it in such a unique way, such a skillful way that it can really help to build your business and make a huge difference. And you can become a very popular, you can really just increase your business because people know you for this very unique way of personalizing treatment, and they're going to get better results as well from using
How come I don't have that cool purple guy when mine scans?
No, that's an upgrade, Toss. That's the 3D image upgrade. You don't need it.
Okay.
It's cool, but right now you don't need it. You gotta monetize first, bro.
That's right.
Okay.
That's a good business coach. So let me
Doc, this is very interesting. Look at this.
Yeah, let me just explain these numbers for a moment. We see a big, definitely thumbs up for that Ninja Red product, which is really great because it shows you also that how good those Young Living oil products are. But let me just tell you about interpretation of these numbers. It can be a little bit confusing when you're looking for things. Now we're testing the things. What are the good things for this person? But the way of testing is very similar. So when you see a low number under 150, like the 55, this means that their low cardiovascular activity, it being so low at 55, is one of the number one things that they need to do to make a difference to stop that cellulite. Cardiovascular activity, which goes back to what these guys talked about, the microcirculation. So once they get that heart working, they're going to be able to perfuse that blood to the skin so that they don't have that lymphatic stagnation. So that makes a huge difference. Then also the sleek capsules looks like it would be a big thing, very, very helpful. But you see the sleek essence oil, maybe for that individual person wasn't the right thing. So you're also just saving them some money by getting them the thing that will work the very, very best.
Yeah, Citrus Fresh actually is the least expensive of all of them, and it comes up lower than the Sleek Essence.
So yeah, so that's another call for sure that you can make. That Citrus Fresh oil is really powerful for the liver as well, from what I understand. And then you go to those high numbers in the 700s. You can see that Ninja Red comes up super high, and then you can go to the 600s, and you can see actually that burst training comes up, and then you go to a separate panel. But in this case, and this is just sort of a fictitious client, but you can see hydration isn't really their issue. It's these other things, which is fascinating as well. So very, very interesting because it really helps to hone you as a practitioner to help people because it's teaching you something about them individually you might not be able to touch except after many, many, many times interacting with them.
Great. Great. Well, see, Dr. Policano, this has been fabulous because it's accomplishing two things simultaneously. Number one, the activity is showing us how to create these customized panels, and B, those of us that have our existing businesses, now this becomes a tool to actually run the cellulite program. And so it's kind of it's a twofer, if you will. It can be programming to get new clients, to get existing clients engaged in a program, and it can also be the back end, which of course is things like Ninja Red and Citrus Fresh.
Absolutely,
so,
and I'm glad we got this group together to sort of launch this thinking process because I would really be regretful if you guys really weren't getting the essence of what Casey is really able to bring out in these teaching calls, which is the brilliance of this, which so few people are using and which can make a tremendous difference. And I just really want to emphasize what Tasso said, which was so powerful. And in case you didn't hear it in the beginning, he's running a balancing session for them either during their workout, before or after, and he's getting good results from doing that. And so that's sort of another thing to do besides just this, is to take these frequencies that come up for them, and then even just running these as harmonizing for them while they're working out will make a difference. It will help their overall energy field to improve. Not that they don't need to do the lifestyle changes, they do, but just running the energy that they need specifically will make a difference, will help their recovery to be faster, and will help them to feel better.
Yep. And that's where we can actually do the naturopathy during their workout too, right? I can be put. Yeah. Okay.
I'm working with Ryan to actually change the nutriopathy to just be normal nutrition, where it actually says folic acid and PABA instead of vitamin B9, which nobody knows what that is. So. Yeah,
I agree. I think that would be.
And he's going to change it to actually from nutriopathy to nutrition, because nobody understands what nutriopathy is. Yeah. Anyway.
Okay, well, this has been fantastic, Dr. Policano. Our calls are the third Wednesday of every month, and that means our next call is scheduled for February 18th.
And I was going to say, I'll get links to people probably at the end of today, so you have links well in advance, and I apologize for the late link today. Thanks, yeah.
No, look, everybody's kind of getting back into things after the new year, and, you've got the new move and all that other stuff, so it's not a problem. That's why we record these calls, and you and I can talk about the replay on this if you want to upload it or if you want me to upload it somewhere.
I'd be happy to upload it, and I'll edit the beginning part and put on YouTube with a private link, so it'll be just available to us. So, sure.
Great. Okay, guys. Well, what I want you all to do is put your thinking caps on and based on this and start asking yourself, okay, what's next? What do we want to focus on next? What are your questions? The reality is this is a fantastic tool, but it's only a toy if you're not monetizing it. And my goal with these calls is to not only take your training to the next level, but take your income to the next level with the Quantum Infinity. So thanks for tuning in today, and send me your feedback or your questions or future ideas, and I look forward to our next call. Thanks, Dr. Policano.
Thanks, everyone. Have a wonderful day.
Come on in.